Thought we were done with this winter crap. It's mid-March, come on. All week, it was like 55, 60 degrees. Weekend rolls around, yeah, it's 27. We had like 2 inches of snow when we woke up this morning, and the wind is blowing like crazy. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So you may notice something is missing. I pulled, after the Outback left, I pulled the motor out of her car so we can start making it all pretty and shiny for the show season. Here it is, right here. There's the flywheel and the clutch. It's got a comp clutch in it. Looks pretty good, lightweight flywheel. It's got a VF39 turb ski on it from an STI. This is a hybrid build, so it's got a EJ257 bottom end out of an STI and the 2-liter heads. Couple of things we do have to get. I'm going to do valve cover gaskets, and typical Subaru, this side valve cover gasket's leaking pretty bad because it actually gets hot and melts because the up pipe, especially if you have an aftermarket header and up pipe. Everything else looks good. Probably going to throw a rear main seal in it too because it looks like it's leaking. So what we're going to do is we're going to drain the oil, let it sit for a while, make sure all the coolant and oil is out of it before I start rotating it around and cleaning it up. So after making a huge mess because they didn't drill the breather hole in this drain pan, the oil is now draining. Back over in the engine bay, both this car and my car, these are show cars, and we kind of treat them like race cars. As in, like, we trailer them everywhere. We rarely drive them. If we do drive them, they're only for a short amount of time. Just like my car, we're doing a lot of deleting. So I've already kind of started up there. Well, back there is where the cruise control was. I got rid of all that. Right there is where the boost controller and like where the mass airflow sensor plugs in. I'm going to relocate that back in that corner so it cleans the engine bay up and looks good. You can't see it. ABS, I'm going to leave on her car because that is a whole other project to delete the ABS like I did in my car, so I'm not going to even worry about that. Coming across, like I said, all the HVAC, the AC lines are going to be gone, so that'll clean everything up. Fuel filter's going away. I'm going to get an inline nice filter, clean this up. Now where the washer fluid tank was, I'm going to make a bracket, and that's where the flex fuel sensor is going to sit, which is right there. I'm going to have it nice and mounted right here. Battery is going to be relocated into the trunk. We're kind of low on money and kind of low on time, so we're just kind of doing what we can. Everything is back here accumulating. I am deleting some stuff. I am replacing some stuff, so I might have some stuff for sale. So I might have a yard sale, Subaru yard sale in the spring. So buying a already modified car, a lot of stuff is changed or moved around. So on Subarus, on the up pipe has an EGT sensor right here. He did do it correctly and deleted it with the, you can put a resistor in there so it doesn't trigger a check engine light. But instead of putting a plug in, he put an O2 sensor in there. It was not plugged in, so I'm guessing it's just to fill the hole, but I don't know. Everything else seems to be plugged in, so I'm going to put a plug in it instead of leaving that sensor in it. I'm going to start tackling that side of the engine bay. I left the fuel lines open so I can smell the nice ethanol. I did test the ethanol. It is middle of March, and I tested it yesterday, and where I get my ethanol, it's about 78%. All right, what a nice night. I think spring has finally arrived. All right, so a few days has passed. We got the 6-liter in here because we just got back from picking up the new trailer. If you haven't seen that video, it was posted. It's a video posted before this one, so go check that one out. It's a crazy nice trailer. We're excited to get the cars up on it and start rolling the shows. I had a slight oil seep from the turbo oil feed line, so I fixed that. That's why this is in here. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna start stripping her engine down to bare long block. I got some high temp engine primer that's going to go on it, and then some really crazy hot pink engine paint. So baby child is doing pretty good tonight, and she's feeling good, so she come out here, and it's warmer too. We're going to start ripping into her engine. So we're taking everything off so we can clean the block up and paint it. And good thing we did, because we found the timing belt tensioner was completely shot and the timing belt was actually loose. So that could have been pretty catastrophic. Yeah, so good thing we checked, because the tensioner was loose, water pump feels okay, but the idler pulleys do not sound very good, especially this one. I think I have extras. I think I actually might even have a complete timing belt kit at the other shop, so I really hope that's true. Yeah, so a lot of cleaning needs to be done on this thing. All those are broken, cracked. So of course, a typical car, you know, project, you get into it and start spending more money. We have a lot to do, but my goal is to have the engine done and painted and everything else done and painted, and then put the motor back in, and then do everything else in the car. So like the air suspension and the wheels, stuff like that, have the engine bay and the engine done. So I had to make a quick trip to the old shop and go through my Subaru stuff. That is just a few shelves. I got more stuff over there. So far, I have found everything I needed, from the timing belt covers to the actual timing belt kit. I had 2 full timing belt kits here. One is just a regular Gates kit, and the other one's actually a Gates racing kit, so I'm gonna throw that one on her car. Also trying to gather up some stuff I know I'll need. So like I have several boxes full of gaskets, taking all that just to make sure I have everything, so I don't have to keep running back and forth. Eventually all this stuff will end up at the new shop, but for right now I'm just picking and taking what I need. All kinds of stuff: blocks, transmissions, axles, Chinese coilovers. It just makes me giddy because I haven't been here in a while, so like I don't know what I have anymore. So like I'm finding all kinds of goodies. It's like shopping. It's finally warm enough to bring the engine outside and wash it. I bought a engine cleaner from Harbor Freight, which is really pretty nifty. It hooks up your air compressor. So I rolled it out here by the junk pile so I don't get nasty grease everywhere and oil. So here is the engine cleaner from Harbor Freight. Air compressor, compressed air. That is going to go in that. The Harbor Freight engine cleaner, not too bad. It was a good investment. It was only 10 bucks. Didn't do too bad. I put it in a gallon of Simple Green and sprayed it. I mean, it cleaned it up pretty good, so I think I'm gonna go get cleaned up and then probably start masking everything off and laying some primer. So fast forward a few days, we are both hard at it. She's back there working on the engine bay. You're not seeing that till the car is done. I already primed it. It's got the first layer of pink on it. I got 3 layers to put on, then the clear coat. We are slowly plucking away, and well, actually we need to hurry up and pluck away because import face-off is what? Less than 28 days or something like that, and the engine bay is still empty. Tomorrow we're making a trip down to Columbus. We found a place down there that's going to rewrap the front and rear bumper for us. Come on, that is just not, I mean, I could have done that. I could have done a better job than that, and I suck at wrapping. I said, hey! 2 cans of primer, 2.5 cans of ink, and 1 can of clear. She looks good. Good. So for those of you who go to import face-off, import face-off is in 25 days, and that's supposed to be in a car. So we have a lot of work to do in 25 days. Basically, there's all the suspension, the interior, that. We're waiting on a few more things for the engine bay before I can start putting the motor back together and putting it in. Start my pile here of everything that needs painted and or cleaned. Pulled the injectors out, checking those guys out. They are very dirty. I ordered a whole seal kit with all new O-rings, so I'm gonna clean those. Look at that. That's dirty. I'm gonna repaint the power steering reservoir bracket and ABS bracket. I'm gonna paint the harmonic balancer, the crank pulley, paint the turbo, paint the cross pipe for the coolant. I got a new turbo inlet hose. I'm gonna paint the starter, make it pretty. The wiring harness, I'm going to basically, I'm gonna shorten a few things and tuck it so it looks good. Paint the throttle body. The intercooler needs a lot of work. I don't like that big Perrin on the front, so I don't know. I mean, it's not exactly recommended to paint the intercooler. Intercooler piping is all good and powder coated. It just needs cleaned up. Yeah, so we have a lot to do in the next 25-ish days. So every night I'm in here. So if you see us at IFO, please say hi, and hopefully we have both cars there. run in here and check on everything. We had a really nasty storm roll through last night. Everything looks all right, but we had lost power, trees are down. So high winds still expected today, so hopefully nothing blows away. So a lot of parts showing up today on this windy afternoon. Her catch can is here, her injector O-rings are here, and then over a year ago, literally over a year ago, we ordered her harness bar. And it never showed up, and I'm like, I'm going through inventory, I'm like, where's this at? So I got a hold of the company, they're like, oh yeah, we never shipped it, and it's here now. I mean, they shipped it with no questions. All right, we're gonna start tackling her fuel line. So this is the fuel line setup that goes underneath the intake manifold. This is the left side of the car, rail 1, rail 2, right side of the car. So a problem you could run into if you start running bigger injectors and higher horsepower and whatnot is you could actually starve this side of fuel, because so your fuel lines, or your fuel comes in here, goes down through this rail, fires these injectors, comes all the way across over here, and then fires the injector. So you can see where the fuel comes into this rail. If you're running big injectors, you know, stuff like that, this cylinder here could actually be starved with fuel because the rest of the injectors are taking up all the fuel before it reaches this injector. So we're gonna bypass all of this. I'm gonna cut all of this out and basically just use the rails themselves. I'm gonna replace it with bigger bigger diameter braided fuel line. That way we can get a greater volume of fuel going through the rails. That's, I mean, I'm not really worried about the fuel problem. It's more of cleaning everything up. So, you know, I can run two nice brand new braided fuel line that looks a lot better than this crap right here. FYI, if you run big injectors, you run, you know, higher horsepower, this needs to be rethought, because that cylinder right there, you could definitely run her a little lean just because the fuel is not getting to it.
So yesterday we took the bumpers down to Zabos Customs in Columbus. He's definitely a car guy. He had a Hellcat sitting there with a Mercedes and all that. We felt pretty good about leaving the bumpers there. We're gonna end this video off here. We have a lot to do before IFO, which we hope to see you there. We may do another update on the WRX. Please like and subscribe. We will see you next time. Thanks so much for watching.